Hey, it's JC1424 once again with another album review, and today we're going to be talking about the debut extended play from The Violent, and it's a self-titled released on March 11th, 2022. Of course, I discovered The Violent because I was a huge fan of Red Sun Rising, and, well, this band is all the members of that band after they went into their indefinite hiatus. But, man, I even have this lyric book poster on the wall from Thread ages ago, and that album was there for me in both some of the best moments and worst moments in my life, so it has a really strong impact, and the reason I followed them to this project that started in, I think, late 2020. But track one is Admission, and I wouldn't say it lays down a theme for the album or anything, it's just the intro for the first song. Track two, Think for Yourself. I take this with the concept of not letting political side determine your views. And it's a rather perfect combo of stadium rock and a really detailed mix from electronics to guitar touches, even to Mike's patriotic glory at the end of the song in the final chorus. The beat here is the most Nickelback thing ever, but it's also like the best Shinedown song that was never made. Track three is Impression, and I'm not sure how to describe how I feel about this song. It's one of my favorite ones on the entire album, but at the same time, it's also the one that I have the most problems with. It's catchy as hell, but then goes out of its way to fly through every movement, much like Death Wish did, which, that was the lead single from that album over there. So I guess you could say that they're, trying to get the radio play, so they keep it short, but they didn't have a record label whenever they made this song, so I don't think they're being forced to doing this. So, hopefully this extended play can earn them a record label if they want to sign one. It's oversaturated with cool effects. So, they're cool effects, but a bit too much of it. And then there's some things that are just misplaced in the mix. Like, for example, I don't know if this is just like the music video, but I was listening to it on YouTube one time, and in my headphones, I heard this really cool laser sound effect, like way back there, and I'm like trying to get a good grasp on it. It'd be such great attention to detail, and it could be forefront. So I think much like the latest Evanescence album, the writing is so great, but the mix is off, though this EP's mix is not nearly as off as The Bitter Truth. And I guess you could say the song is kind of about breaking into the scene and stealing the show that people came for. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm a dork.
I'm always alone when deep in the ground, yeah. I'm always alone when deep in the crowd, yeah.
Track four is Pockets of Your Dreams. It gives you some triplets on the drums. It's basically just like The Sufferer and The Witness began, which, by the way, it's a great album. That leads into track five, Me. The crunchy riff is an abrupt detour from that suspenseful but smooth intro. It's definitely my least favorite on here. The verses are not far off from mumble rap. The chorus is very feel-good, though, like a self-help song, not a book about himself. I think we've got enough of those in the world. But the cadence on this song is fantastic. That I love.
And when you put yourself back on the shelf, I'll be moving on because I did it for myself, yeah.
On track six, Smile Like a Hostage, I love the agonizingly beautiful expression of the sick brilliance behind Faking Victim. It's kind of like a Jussie Smollett tale of a song, if you know what I mean. The harmonies and orchestration are so pure and just immaculate, like A Perfect Circle or Pussifer, I guess. I find myself imagining this bouncy synth in the chorus every time, though it doesn't need it. It's the greatest dynamic on the EP, and the snarly breakdowns connect the dots for sure.
I've done so much and think of all you. To smile like a hostage.
The fifth song on this EP is track 7, Fly on the Wall. And this was the debut song for The Violent. I remember at the time they put out this music video, and they were hiding the singer's face, and they were like, we're not telling you what the lineup is. It's a secret. But dude, it's in the metadata. The guitar is so dirty and funky here, and you get to the end and it just goes frantic, and I love that. The percussion is usually great, but here it excels in a really fun way. And then you've got yet another gorgeous chorus with mysterious elegance, but I will say the verses have an odd carry out. It's not as bad as Me, but to the same mumble rap essence, about having seen something awful, but it's basically not your tale to tell. And as they say, you wish you were a fly on the wall, but if you were, you wouldn't have anything to say about it, and you just have to keep that, knowledge forever.
I got a secret for the way it makes me feel. Whatever makes you feel more alone than you've ever felt in your life.
The second to last song on this album is track 8, and it's a cover of a song by The Doors called People Are Strange. And that came out in 1967. That's like 55 years old. Oh my god. Sound-wise, their take on the song is mostly similar to the vibe of previous tracks here, but the more powerful and up the speed it gets, I start to think of like Theory of a Dead Man, just because of the tone of these guitar chords in the second half. As opposed to goofy in a creepy way, they continue this ominous industrial flavor. And it does refine the concept of someone's worldview being altered by the state of their mind in a modern way. And the final song on this EP is track 9, People Say. And it's a painful truth about how some people's worst feedback from the world can kind of deflate their ego a bit, when in many cases necessary. But goddamn, if this chorus ain't made me cry at least once with the way that it just resonates. It was like the bread and butter of Red Sun Rising shit back in the day. Now, while this could be the intro to a 90s TV show about witches, the verses don't quite pull me in, but it's not like Me or Fly on the Wall, so much as instrumentally I like what's there, but the execution and the mix just always makes me twitch a bit. Like the volume of one thing compared to another doesn't match up, and they use one instrument for one thing when they could have used it for another. But my final score for the debut EP, self-titled by The Violent, and released on March 11th in 2022, is a 93%. And that's like a A- on the school grading scale that I have. That's what I've always gone with. But yeah, I think this is like one of the best EPs that I've ever heard to start a career. So hopefully they can land a solid record deal if they want to sign one, or they could just stay independent, which that hasn't turned out so well for many artists, but it definitely can. I think my biggest issue with this is like the entire project is not entirely cohesive, but it is definitely dynamic. And in most cases, the dynamic songs really work very well. But the mumble rap-ish verses don't work well with me, but they do have really great choruses and a lot of great electronics in mind. And I don't want to ramble on too much longer. You saw how I felt about all the other songs. See you next time. That's that. And album review over.